I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is a very special episode of Alter Ego Comics TV.
It's not an episode so much as a vignette.
The more you know.
Yeah. It's like, what was it at the Super Bowl? She was riding the star.
Yes.
It was Katy Perry? No,
yeah.
who was it? Was it Katy Perry? Okay. All right, so
cut to the chase, man.
Every year, or well, the last couple years, DC's been pimping their greatest graphic novels. World's greatest graphic novels is the tagline. Last year they put out a list. This year they put out a new list, and I thought it was interesting that the world's greatest graphic novels might change in 12 short months. So Mark has not looked at these yet. We're going to give him a rundown. We're going to see what a comic expert thinks of this. We're going to talk about it a little bit and see maybe if we can puzzle out DC's motives in some of her choices. So first up, we're just going to give you a quick rundown. Feel free to jump in and chime in and say, oh, that's awesome, or whatever. But this is last year's list, the list they put out. DC's Essential 25 World's Greatest Comics. Watchmen, no-brainer. Batman, The Dark Knight Returns. Sandman Volume 1 by Neil Gaiman. Batman Year 1. V for Vendetta. Saga of the Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. Fables Volume 1, Legends and Exiles. Batman, The Killing Joke, again, Alan Moore. Why the Last Man, wow, I can't talk, Brian K. Vaughan. All-Star Superman from Grant Morrison. Batman Volume 1, Court of the Owls by Scott Snyder. Kingdom Come, Mark Waid.
This is an awesome vignette.
I'm excellent at this. Batman Long Halloween. Justice League Volume 1 Origin, that's the current New 52 version by Jeff Johns. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen Volume 1 by Alan Moore. Batman Earth 1. Green Lantern Rebirth by Jeff Johns. American Vampire Volume 1 by Scott Snyder. JLA Volume 1, this is the Grant Morrison one from the early 2000s. Late 90s? Early 2000s.
90s.
Whatever. Final Crisis, also Grant Morrison. Batman Hush. Identity Crisis by Brad Meltzer. Joker, this is the Brian Azzarello...
Lee
Bermejo. And Wonder Woman Volume 1 by Brian Azzarello. Again, that's the New 52 version. And Superman Earth 1. All right.
So that was 2014.
That was 25. That's last year's list. Those are what they say are the essential 25 graphic novels, the world's greatest graphic novels, according to DC Comics. Interestingly, they're all published by DC, but that's neither here nor there. So
DC's going to put out a list of the world's greatest 25 graphic novels.
Published by Marvel and
published
Image,
by other
yes.
publishers.
I'm just saying, if you're going to say greatest. All right, Mark. Knowing what you know about DC Comics, would you like to guess which of those do not appear on this year's list?
This is a tough game. What does not appear on this year's list? Anything by Alan Moore.
You are in some ways correct. Watchmen is still on there because you can't deny that one, and also they still make buttloads off of it. But Saga of Swamp Thing is not appearing on here, even though I would argue it's maybe Moore's best work. It's definitely not as cohesive as Watchmen, but Saga of Swamp Thing is missing. Also League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which has always been sort of a bastard child for DC. They've always the America's Best Comics and the publishing thing.
Yep.
So that's not super surprising.
Okay.
But they do maintain The Killing Joke by Alan Moore is still on there. So we lose two of them. Swamp Thing, not super surprising. Okay. Take any more guesses?
Of things that are not on
Things that are not on here.
The Grant Morrison JLA.
Grant Morrison JLA goes bye-bye.
Yeah.
Perfectly understandable. We've got a New 52
Final
origin that's
Crisis.
entrenched. Final Crisis survives, even though it's...
To the amazement of everyone, Final Crisis is on their list of top 25 DC Comics graphic novels.
All the graphic novels in the world.
I'm not saying don't buy it, but it's not going to make my list of top 25 DC Vertigo graphic novels.
No, it is not.
Okay, so JLA goes away. What else do you have to say?
League and Saga. There are 4 more on here that are missing in the new list.
Oh, wow.
And at least 2 of them are books that I know you love.
Why the Last Man?
No, Why the Last Man continues.
American Vampire.
Totally, American Vampire is gone, which is mind-boggling to me based on its quality. I mean, the only thing I can think of is it was on hiatus. I don't know.
The other thing I can think of is that Snyder's doing more work for Image these days. But
Could be.
Maybe there's no reason, no rhyme or reason.
Oh, if you're making a list that says greatest, there's a reason.
Right, so American Vampire is gone. Is Fables off there?
Fables is still on.
Okay. I don't know. Just tell me.
All right, I will.
This video is 80 minutes long. Let's just get to it.
Joker by Azzarello.
That's understandable. I wouldn't have put that in my top 25 anyway.
Yeah, it might eke into my top 25, but I guess my thing is the change from last year to this year.
Right.
What's different between last year and this year that would make that book less desirable? I don't know. That's and Identity Crisis is the other one that's gone, which is a travesty, unparalleled.
It is a travesty, but we were talking about this earlier this week in the shop. How if you're not a comic fan to begin with, if you don't have some working knowledge of the DC universe, is Identity Crisis as good as it is?
And we're the wrong people to answer that.
We are the wrong people to answer that, because Identity Crisis is what got me back into DC Comics. And I really felt like that was the beginning of a new renaissance at DC, taking characters in different directions, and you know, that was the precursor to Infinite Crisis and Final Crisis. I mean, it has Crisis in the title, and I would put it alongside. I mean, it was a game changer for the DC Universe, specifically the Justice League. But if you're not a fan, or if you don't know a lot about some of these characters, can I hand Identity Crisis to a Brad Meltzer fan and say, well, if you like his novels, here's a comic written by Brad Meltzer with a bunch of characters you've probably never heard of except for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So I don't know. Maybe you guys can answer that. If you've read Identity Crisis, is it accessible to new comic readers? Did you like it? Did you not like it? But anyway, Identity Crisis is off the list, which makes me sad, but it's still on our list of top-selling graphic novels here in the shop.
All right, so those were replaced with 7 more. You want to guess what books DC thinks are better this year than they were last year? And yes, every single book on here was already in graphic novel when last year's list came out. Most of them are at least 2 years old.
Is there a Flash volume on
there? There is. It is the first volume of the New 52 Flash, which is a questionable choice, but the Flash doesn't have a lot of iconic stories, so I consider it respectable. Same
let's
vein.
Go for a Green Arrow. Is Green Arrow Year One on there?
Green Arrow Year One is on here, and that is acceptable to me as well. It's a great story.
It is.
About an important character.
Fits in well if you're a fan of the TV show.
Yeah.
That is the go-to book.
If you want a place to start, it is. I probably, if I had to pick one Green Arrow story, I would pick Green Lantern, Green Arrow, or maybe Quiver, but it's a valid choice. No arguments there. Same vein.
Constantine
Volume 1.
So is it Hellblazer or Constantine?
Well, that's part of the interesting part, because it says John Constantine Hellblazer Volume 1, which traditionally the trade has always just said Hellblazer Volume 1, but I think the new printings may say John Constantine on the cover.
Okay, so it's not the new
it's
52.
It's the original Jamie Delano stuff.
Don't even tell me iZombie's on that list.
iZombie is not on the list.
Good.
Oh, did you see how
No offense to
I love
anybody
iZombie.
associated with iZombie, but
Chris Roberson and who's the artist? It's
Mike Allred.
Mike Allred. But no, it was quite good.
All right, so you said there were 7 new ones. So
7
we've
new
got
ones.
Flash,
That's 3.
Green Arrow.
Oh, 4 counting Green Arrow. Yeah.
Constantine's. We've got 3, right?
4. Flash, Green Arrow, Constantine. Oh, you're right. 3. I can't count. You want hints, or you just want to? Do you want me to tell you? One of them is one of our bestsellers. It's in the top 10 or 12.
Walking Dead.
No. That's not it. It's not DC.
Batman Earth 1 was already on there. Superman Earth 1 was already on there.
Actually, Superman Earth 1 was on there?
Was on the first list.
I don't think...
Wasn't that the last thing? No?
Oh, it was, yeah. Superman Earth 1 is still the last on both. I don't understand. The order also changed, and they're not alphabetical. I can't figure that out. All right, so from our bestsellers list, Superman Red Sun. It's a great choice. It's interesting to me that it's more something they want more now than they wanted last year.
Yeah.
But I'll take it. Let's see. Flash, Constantine, Planetary by Warren Ellis. Super strange. I mean, that series has been over... Well, the last issue took a while to come out, but it's still been out for 3 or 4 years. I don't know.
I thought I heard rumblings at some point of a Planetary TV series.
I have heard those rumblings as well.
Maybe on Showtime or something, so I don't know if that has anything to do with
Maybe they just wanted to fill in that sort of weird meta thing since they got rid of some Alan Moore stuff. Preacher is on there.
Yeah.
Good work, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, Preacher, of course, set up at AMC, which is looking very good, and is a great graphic novel. It's in our bestsellers. Again, I don't know. I mean, Preacher's been acclaimed since it came out, so putting it on the list this year has got to be tied to the TV show.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I think it's a good move. I've never read Preacher. Have you read Preacher?
I have, to a certain extent. Garth Ennis, I love what he does, but he goes farther than I'm generally comfortable going.
There's usually a safe word when Josh is reading Garth Ennis, and he was screaming it when he was reading Preacher. All right, what else we got?
Year 1, Red Sun. Last on the list, is the one that kind of blew my mind.
Amethyst.
No.
No.
I would
Clarion, the Witch Boy.
No. Day Tripper. Self-contained graphic novel published by Vertigo. Gabriel Ba and was it
Fabio Moon?
Was it Fabio Moon and Ba?
Yeah.
Okay.
Moon and Ba.
It's an excellent graphic novel. I like it. It's not super popular, but it sells well. It's also probably the most indie-friendly book on this list, especially since they've gotten rid of American Vampire. But yeah, what's up with that? I mean, do they think Ba and Moon are more popular? Is there something going on with that? Is there going to be a TV show or a movie?
All right, just a thought, because I could be way off on this.
Well, it's all speculation.
Well, my understanding with the Vertigo stuff is that the rights remain with DC for a certain amount of time, or as long as the book is in print and keeps selling. Right. So they may be trying to boost things that are coming close to running out of copyright and retain a grasp on that.
The most famous example of this would be Watchmen. Yes, Alan Moore was supposed to get the rights back when they stopped publishing it, but they have never stopped publishing Watchmen.
So books like Day Tripper is the only one that really jumps out at me on that list.
Yeah.
That maybe it could revert to the creators and they could conceivably take it to another publisher and have it printed. And also, I don't know if DC Entertainment or Warner Brothers would retain or be able to take advantage of any movie,
media rights.
Yeah, media rights. But again, I'm just spitballing because I see no other reason for Day Tripper.
Right, it's just out of left field.
It's good, but it's not street level comic book stuff. It's like philosophy 300 level class.
I mean, I could see that as like a BBC series or something episodic. But yeah, just weird. So that's what it is. DC has changed what the best graphic novels of all time are. How do you feel about that? Are they right? Are they wrong? Are we nuts?
Yes, to that last question, probably. But I see your point. So it does not say of all time, though. It says
world's greatest
graphic novels, and we're gonna cry foul on shenanigans on creating two different lists, 2 consecutive years of what DC Comics thinks the world's greatest graphic novels are. Are we nuts? We're back to that.
Yes.
And what we'll probably do when we post this, look in the comments below, in the notes below, we'll list both the 2014 and the 2015 list so that you can compare them side by side. And share your comments, share your thoughts, share it with your friends, share it everywhere. Bye.
Take care.